Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the Strat-O-Matic 2015 Demolition League. We say goodbye to Series 1. Series 1 has been complete, 15 games in the books out of 270, and we move on to Series 2. And the first game or first matchup in Series 2 will be the New York Mets taking on the Boston Red Sox. Both teams are 2-1, taking 2 of 3 against their opponents. And now we're ready for the first game of 3 between these two. It's the home opener for Boston. The Mets are on the road for the second consecutive series. They will be at home in Series 3 to do their home opener against the Phillies. But right now the Red Sox, after being in Cincinnati to take on the Reds, they will come home, which means they get the DH back, which means Ortiz can go back to his normal DH position and Mike Napoli can play first, and they get more of their lineup back for them. So that's where we are right now. We are at Series 2, matchup number 1, I should say. And we're going to look at the rest rolls for both teams and go through that process again, just to refresh memories in case they need them. We're going to roll 1d6 for both teams, or 1 for each team. I'll do it one at a time. I know Earl, I think, did 2 at a time with different colors doing different things, but I really go a little slower for myself just to make sure I don't screw anything up. So the visiting team is the Mets. We'll do them first, and we will roll the d6 and see what we get. We get a 5. So that means on the New York Mets, on the rest chart under number 5, so move this out of the way a little bit. Number 5 on the rest chart, we are looking at second base, right field, and DH. Well, there was no DH for the Mets. Well, I'll take that back. There was, because they were playing in the American League team. So Eric Campbell was the DH, and I'm pretty sure he did not have enough at-bats. Yeah, Eric Campbell was the DH. He's going to have to rest automatically because he had so few at-bats. So we know Eric Campbell's going to have to rest. And then it's also second base and right field. Second base is Murphy. Daniel Murphy had 530 at-bats. So we're going to roll 1d20. On the 520 at-bats, he would need a 1 through 8 to rest. It's a 13, so he does not have to rest, so Murphy is good. And the right fielder, Curtis Granderson, he is at 671, so he's over 600. He does not have to rest. So Eric Campbell is the only Met that has to rest in this game. So he will be on the bench, and they'll bring in somebody else to potentially DH. Probably they're looking at Goodell, because Goodell had to rest the game before. Now we go on to the Red Sox. Their role for rest is a 1. So on the Red Sox, the 1 is center field, third base, and DH. Well, they were in Cincinnati, so there was no DH. So it's simply center field and third base. Center fielder is Mookie Betts, or was Mookie Betts in their previous game. And he's got over 600 bats, so he does not have to rest. The only challenge to rest is third base. And third base was actually Brock Holt, because we had to rest Pablo Sandoval the day before. So Brock Holt has a total of, looks like plate appearances right at 510. So 510 on here is again a 1 to 8. 1 to 8, he's got to rest. 9, he does not have to rest. So no one has to rest from Boston. They are good to go on the rest rolls. So John Farrell will have the full complement of roster for these two teams. We'll look at the previous games that each team played. Mets in Game 3 beat Seattle in extra innings 3-1. Matt Harvey and Iwakuma dueled it out for 7 shutout innings, but I cap it opening day or first game for any pitcher, any starter, 7 innings is the max, so I pulled both pitchers at 7 innings. Then we went to the 10th. In the 10th inning, Plawecki 1-out double, and then with 2 outs, Granderson got the base hit, and then David Wright got another base hit to drive home Granderson to give him that extra run. Farquhar took the loss, Robles the win, and then Familia came in and pitched the 10th inning to get the save. So that's how the Mets improved to 2-1. The Red Sox improved to 2-1 by beating Cincinnati 6-1. Joe Kelly, 6+ innings to get the win as they put up 4 in the second inning. Bogart's a homer to start the festivities, and then other base hits, and then the big blow was the Mookie Betts 3-run homer. That gave them the 4-0 lead and kind of put the game away. They took it to Mike Leake, and so the Red Sox get the win in that ball game. So now we move on to what is now game number 16, and I forgot to write the date in. That was not very smart, was it? We are now at April the 17th. All right, so we are at Series 2, Matchup 1, Game 1, and we know who the rest guys are. We know for the Mets it is Campbell. He must rest. For the Red Sox, they don't have any rest requirements. Let's look at the starters. It's two lefties going at it. We are at the number 4 starters for each team, as we're at the 4th game for each team, so they're using the number 4 starters. For the Mets, it is lefty Jonathan Neese, 9-10 with a 4.13 ERA. For the Red Sox, it's Eduardo Rodriguez, 10-6, 3.85 ERA. Second game of the series will be the number 5 starters, and that will be Buchholz for the Red Sox, and it will be, for the Mets, it will be right-hander Dylan G, because Syndergaard is not on the team yet. He comes in later. So Dylan G starts the season as their 5th starter. So it's Rodriguez against Neese. They are the starters, and now that I've got the rest rolls out of the way, we can make the lineups. And let's see. Maybe I'll show it on camera how I think of these lineups. We'll see. Campbell's the only one that has to rest. We are using a DH. So I've got all my guys here except for Campbell. So let's see. Granderson's traditionally been leading off. He's been doing well, so why break up the... why, if it's working, don't fix it kind of thing. So Granderson will lead off in right field. And typically number 2, I've had Murphy. And like I said, it's been working, so why mess it up? Wright at third base and Duda at first base. That's been pretty traditional for the first couple of games and the first parts of the order. So we're going to have Murphy hit second, Wright hit third, and Duda hit cleanup. And then now is where it gets a little bit tricky. You can go a lot of different directions. I think with the lefty on the mound, they're going to use Kadire. Now, whether he's in left field or the DH, we shall see. I believe he's going to be the DH. So we'll DH Kadire. And he will be in left field. Now we're going to go to Wilmer Flores, the shortstop. He will hit in the 6th position. Batting in the 7th position is going to be John Mayberry Jr. They want as many right-handers in the lineup as they can get. So Mayberry will play left field. And then we need a catcher. They've used Darno and Plawecki kind of back and forth. So I think in today's game, they're going to go with Plawecki. Darno caught 2 of the first 3, so we'll flip-flop and do Plawecki. And then traditionally, I've been having Lagares in these DH games bat 9th because he's like a pseudo leadoff hitter. So he will bat 9th and play center field. And then on their bench, of course, they will have Campbell, who was rested, and then Tejada and Neuenhuis and Darno available off the bench. So the Mets lineup is complete against the lefty Rodriguez. And now we're looking at the Red Sox and see what the Red Sox can do. Didn't finish their little thingy here. And this is the little setup I got from Tenacious Earl or from watching his previous videos. So that's what we're doing there. So now let's see who's going to come up against the lefties. Obviously Betts has been leading off, so no sense changing that. He's in center field. Second, I've been usually batting Pedroia second, so I don't see any reason to stop that. So Pedroia will hit second. Had been hitting Ortiz third. I could drop him down to clean up against a lefty and move Ramirez up. So I think I'm going to put Hanley Ramirez in left field batting in the 3rd position. Then Ortiz is going to bat cleanup in DH. Then we're going to have Xander Bogaerts at short. He will hit in the 5th position. The Panda, Pablo Sandoval, after having the last game off, will be back at 3rd base, hitting 6th. Batting 7th will be the first baseman, Mike Napoli. Pretty good hitter for number 7. If he's your 7th hitter, you're doing pretty well. Right field, I had Shane Victorino start in the previous game, but I think, and with the lefty up there, I think they want another right-handed bat. So let's see, do they go with Victorino again? I think we're going to have Victorino again. But we're going to have, let's see, Hannigan caught the last game. He is a righty. Hannigan's going to catch again. So Hannigan's going to bat 8th. And then we're going to have Victorino, who's got some decent speed, batting 9th. So if they flip the order over, we got some speed down there. So Hannigan and Victorino. And that leaves on the bench Brock Holt, Daniel Nava, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Sandy Leone. So those are your starters and your your starting lineups for each team. And we'll get this game going. Last thing to do is check injury for pitchers by looking at the roster sheet. If I can find what I did with the roster sheet, here it is. So we'll look at Jonathan Neese, or John Neese, however you want to call him. For the Mets, Jonathan Neese is showing as a 1, which means that's a 6-12. So we'll put, if we get a 6-12 roll, we check him for injury. And for the Red Sox, we're looking at Rodriguez, and he is also a 1, which means he's also a 6-12. So if we roll a 6-12 for either pitcher, we will be looking into injury possibilities. If we do that. All right, so I think we are going to be ready to go, Red Sox and Reds. I'm going to pause the video, get everything all set up, and get ready for first pitch. All right, we are now ready to go here for series number 2 and matchup 1, game 1 of that series number 2. Nice to get some new opponents after playing 3-game series against, for all those teams. It's nice to get different matchups. And we got 2 good ones, 2-1 versus, actually Red Sox are 2-1, not 1-1. So both teams are 2-1 coming into this game. Mets again will get to use the DH as they're playing at Fenway Park in Boston. So actually, I've got Kadire in left field here. He's actually the DH. I miswrote that. Mayberry's in left. So now we're set. Rodriguez, the lefty starter, will be facing Curtis Granderson. Actually, Rodriguez against lefties, he's got a very dangerous column 2 here against lefties. He could give up some serious jack there, but Mets, Terry Collins playing the percentages, so they're going predominantly with a right-handed hitting lineup, although they do have 3 of the first 4 are lefties, but everybody else is a righty. So here we go, Rodriguez to Granderson. Game number 16 out of 270 is underway. 5-7, and that's a strikeout. So Rodriguez puts the K on Granderson. He just missed the home run column there, but that 5-7 is a strikeout. And here's Daniel Murphy. 3-8 for Murphy against a lefty. He's going to fly to left, put away out there by the left fielder Ramirez. 2 down for David Wright. 3-5 against the lefty. That's a single. So David Wright, a 2-out single. He's a D stealer. I'm only holding C and above, so Wright will not be held. He did steal 2 bases on the season, was caught once. The catcher's arm, Hannigan, for the Red Sox, is a -1. So a D stealer starts out as a 9, and the -1's an 8. So it'll be a 1-8 if they wanted to risk it. But I don't think it's really worth the chance on that, so they're going to have Duda swing away. 3-7, and he grounds to second to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mets. They are gone here in the top of the first. At the end of half an inning, it's the Mets nothing and the Red Sox coming to bat. And lefty Jonathan Neese 9-10 with a 4.13 ERA. He will get the call. He also did some relieving during the season, but he's going to start the season in the rotation. Let's get the whole team in there, why don't we? Mookie Betts will start things off here against Nice. 4-7, and against a right-hander, that's a ground ball to third. David Wright handles it, one away. Brings up Dustin Pedroia. 3-7 for Pedroia is a single to left field, so 1-out single for Pedroia. He's a D-stealer. He will not be held. He did steal 2 bases on the season, was caught twice. Catcher arm for the Mets is Plawecki, and Plawecki's a 0 arm, as is Darno, so it's 0 arm. So it'd be a 1-9 if he wanted to try it. But you got Ramirez and Ortiz up. I don't think you're going to run yourself out of an inning. 112, and that's a 1 for a home run. Anything else will be a triple for Hanley Ramirez, and that will certainly get the runner home. A triple for Hanley Ramirez on that 112 roll. And the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead, and they're also going to force the Mets most likely to bring the infield in with a runner at third and only 1 out. They will bring the infield in for Ortiz, the DH. Lefty on lefty against Nice. 4-10, and that's a ground ball first base B. Let's check the chart. On the infield in, and a ground ball B, the batter is safe, runner on third is out. So Ramirez is going to be out trying to make it. It's going to go 3-2 as Duda throws to Plawecki covering for the force. Ortiz will reach first base, but they get the lead runner in Ramirez to cut him down at the plate. Of course, Ortiz will not be held at first. Here's Xander Bogaerts. 1-8 for Bogaerts. He's going to walk, and that's going to keep the inning going. For the Panda, Pablo Sandoval. With Holt requiring rest. Sandoval back at his normal third base position. Against Nice, 6-8. That's another walk. So the bases are now loaded. So after getting that fielder's choice, all of a sudden now the bases are loaded for the dangerous Mike Napoli. And that's what's good about having a number 7 hitter as tough as Napoli. He's got some good stuff down there. See what happens. 5-4. And that's another walk. So 3 consecutive walks have walked in a run. Nice having control issues. It's now 2-0 Red Sox. And they're still looking for more as Ryan Hannigan, the catcher, is up. Napoli reaching on the walk it in the RBI. Here's Hannigan. 5-5. Oh, that's trouble. 1-10 is a home run. Hannigan does have weak power, though, so it wouldn't be a homer. 1-10 would be a 2-run single. 11-20 would be a double. That's a 10, so it's when you don't hit the home run, it's a single 2 stars. That makes it 4-0 here in the first. Nice may not last very long. We may be going to the Mets bullpen early and often as the Red Sox are laying at 2. Jonathan Nice, number 9 hitter in the order, is Victorino. Hannigan not being held at first. Nice 2-9 to Victorino. That's a fly to right and the inning's over, but they sent 9 to the plate. 4 of them score, and the Red Sox take a 4-0 lead here in the first. I was hoping for a close game, but you never know. Of course, we're at the number 4 starters, so the offenses are going to, you would think, show up in better force than they did in the first videos when the aces were throwing. Here's Kadire, DH, 1-5, and that's a 1-10 double. Anything else will be a single. That's a 4. It's a double, leadoff double for Kadire, so possibly back come the Mets. Kadire will not be held. Here's Wilmer Flores, shortstop. 3-4. That's a fly ball right field B question mark. And Kadire will not try it. I don't think he can. I think it's only on the B you can do it. B question mark is only for going home, I do believe. I don't think there's in the advanced rules, I don't think there's an option for that, but I will double check it so that I don't mess it up. But I could have sworn the B question mark was, or the B question mark doesn't apply. Here it says this rule does not apply to fly ball right field B ratings from cards or F2 ratings. All right, so it does not apply. So the FB question mark is only for going home, not for going from second to third. So Goodell has to hold. Here's John Mayberry, the left fielder. 6-8 against Rodriguez is a ground ball, third base B. That will freeze the runner Goodell again. He stays at second base with 2 down for Kevin Plawecki, catcher. 6-6, and that's a single to left field. We'll see if Goodell can score. Left fielder Ramirez is not a good defensive outfielder. Ramirez, his arm in left field for the Red Sox is a +2. There are 2 outs. That makes it another +2. That's a +4. And Goodell already runs at an 11. That makes him a 15. So 1 to 15, he's going to chance it. And he's in there. 15, he's in there with the base hit. I'm sorry, with the run scored, rather. And it's not super advanced, so the runner's not going to move up or anything. He's going to stay at first base. So no worries about cutting the throws and all that stuff. That's for super advanced. Here's Lagares. Plawecki is not going to be held. 3-6, and that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. They go the short way with it, 6-4. Inning's over. Mets do get a run back. Cut the lead to 4-1, but Jonathan Neese has to settle in real quick, or his day is going to be a short one. Looking at the Mets bullpen, let's see who they have that can pitch multiple innings. They do have Eric Goodell can go a couple innings. Carlos Torres has a 2 rating. Sean Gilmartin has a 2. They got 4 pitchers with 2 fatigue ratings, so it could be bullpen day if Jonathan Neese can't correct what he's done here in the first inning and straighten up. Back to the top of the order, since they sent all 9 to the plate the first time around. And here is Mookie Betts. 5-8. 5-8 is a ground ball, second base X. That is Murphy. And of course, he's a little shaky defensively. He checks in as a 4. 4 and a 13. He might catch a break on the error check. No, he didn't. 4 and a 13 is actually going to be a ground ball C, so it's good enough with nobody on base. That makes the play. 1 down. Here's Dustin Pedroia. 2-7, and that's a walk. 1 out walk to Pedroia. Again, he's a D-sealer. He will not be held. Ramirez. 3-9, and that would be a ballpark diamond shot, but we're in advance, so it's simply just a deep fly to left. Right in front of the green monster, Mayberry makes the play, and there's 2 away. Here's Big Poppy. 4-5, and that's a fly to left again, put away out there by Mayberry to end the inning. So much better inning for Jonathan Neese. The Mets really kind of need him to at least absorb 5 innings and try to save their bullpen for the whole series. Don't want to wear out your bullpen in game 1 of a series. All right, top of the order for the Mets. To start the third, it's Curtis Granderson. 2-8 for Granderson, strikes out. He struck out both times against Rodriguez. Mets faced 3 righties in Seattle, but this is their first chance to face a lefty. So maybe that's one of their Achilles heels, is facing lefties. 4-10 is a ground ball to first. I'm sorry, I was looking at 5-10. 4-10 is a fly ball center field X. Big difference. Betts in center field for the Red Sox is a 2 center fielder. 2 and a 16 is good. He will make the catch. 2 down. Murphy is retired. Here's David Wright. 4-7, and that's a walk. 2 out walk to Wright. He's reached base both times. He will not be held. And here is Lucas Duda. 3-9, and he struck him out. So that's going to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Metropolitans. We go to the bottom of the third. Neese back out. Will face Bogarts, Sandoval, and Napoli. All 3 of those he walked in the first inning. 3-5, and that's a single. Xander Bogaerts starting things off with a single. He is a B stealer. He will be held. Again, the catcher arm is a 0. So a B stealer starts as a 13. Being held, you take away 3, it makes him a 10. It would be a 50-50 chance if they wanted to try it. They're going to try it. 50-50 chance, 1-10. And he's in there. Stolen base for Bogaerts. And that puts him in scoring position for Pablo Sandoval. 5-3. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 5-3 is a single to left field. Single to left. Bogaerts, with nobody out, they will hold him there. Mayberry, let's see what his arm is in left field. It's a +1 arm, but still with nobody out. It'll only be a 1-15, and too many times I rolled high D20 numbers. With nobody out, why not keep the pressure on? And now the bullpen's already loosening for the Mets, as they do have right-hander. Let's see. Who do they want to go to here? They do have a right-hander in the bullpen, Carlos Torres. He is loosening in case Nice struggles. Sandoval is up. They're going to play. They're going to play in. 2-7, and that's a walk. It didn't matter where they were playing. That's the bases loaded all of a sudden. And Nice just doesn't seem to have it. I don't know what it is, if he got off the wrong side of the bed or what, but that may be all for Jonathan Nice. And that is going to be all for Jonathan Nice. Terry Collins has seen enough. So Jonathan Nice goes 2+ innings for Jonathan Nice. That's it. That's a rough start. And he ended up facing 16 batters. And they're going to go to Carlos Torres. There are 2 Torreses on the Mets bullpen. Alex the lefty and Carlos the righty. So they're going to Carlos Torres. Carlos Torres, he is 5-6, 4.68 ERA and no saves. He has pitched previously. This will be his second appearance, I believe, but I'm not going to show or talk about what the guys are doing in the little replay here as far as statistics go until we move further along and have a bigger base to go by. The bases are loaded with nobody out for Ryan Hannigan. And they're going to play the infield in again. 2-4, and that's another walk. And that's going to force a run in. Boy, the Mets can't find the strike zone for some reason. I don't know why. They pitched pretty well in Seattle for most of the series, but now we're getting to their lesser pitchers, and they're feeling it. Bases loaded walk brings home a run. It's 5-1 Red Sox. Here's Shane Victorino. Infield continues to play in. 4-4. That's a ground ball, third base X. That is David Wright. And Wright checks in as a 3. 3 and a 14 for a third baseman. A 3 and a 14 goes to his error check. Wright error rating is a E17. E17 and a 9 for third baseman. E17 and a 9 is a ground ball A. And with the infield in on a ground ball A, they don't get the double play. They just get the force out at the plate. So it's going to go 5-2 on a fielder's choice. Victorino reaches, but the lead runner Sandoval is out at the plate on the force. So bases are loaded still with 1 out now. 1 in. And the top of the order, Mookie Betts, is up. And they may try to turn a double play. I think they're going to go back now with 1 out. They're going to play for the double play. 2-10, and it's a walk and another run. Doesn't matter how they infielded position. And yet another walk by the Mets pitching staff. This is kind of getting out of hand. It is now 6-1. Base is still loaded for Dustin Pedroia. 3-12, and that's a 1-16 grand slam, because we don't have to worry about ballpark effects. 1-16 is a grand slam. 17-20, it's a sacrifice fly. And it is gone. Dustin Pedroia just hit a grand salami. It is now 10-1 Red Sox. And Carlos Torres, if getting the Red Sox out was the question, then Torres certainly was not the answer. It is a laughable 10-1 game. Torres is lifted, none too soon. May as well have kept Neeson there if he was going to play that badly. So now they will go to another pitcher out of their bullpen. They will go to Eric Goodell. 1-1 with a 2.43 ERA. So Eric Goodell will be the new pitcher. They just need somebody to stop the bleeding because they're hemorrhaging right. I can't even say it right. Hemorrhaging right now. Carlos Torres pitched a third of an inning, facing 4 batters, but I do believe that Terry Collins has seen enough. All right, so Pedroia, the grand salami. 10-1 ball game here in the third. Not a good game for the video. It's going to make people tune out real quick, most likely, unless you don't like the Mets and you enjoy the pounding. Here's Ramirez, or if you're a Red Sox fan, one or the other. 1/8's a single, so the pounding continues. Brings up Ortiz. Red Sox might go to their bench early here to bring some of their subs in with such a big lead. Here's Ortiz, the DH, 1-7. That's a ground ball to second, and that's going to be a double play, 4-6-3. That'll finally end the inning. But damage done. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs here in the third. It is a 10-1 ball game as we go to the fourth, and Eduardo Rodriguez enjoying the run support, no doubt. Kadir will lead things off. The DH doubled and scored the only run of the game for the Mets so far. 6-12. Rodriguez, that's an error. That's a injury check. Got to be careful with this. So we'll play out the at bat first. 6-12 is a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 3 E24, but he's a 3. 3 and a 15, I believe, goes to his error check, which it does. So his error rating is an E24. E24 and a 4. E24 and a 4 is a 1-base error. So it isn't. This could be adding insult to injury. And E1 puts Kadir at first base. But now we got to deal with an injury for Rodriguez. So let's go to the injury table, or injury chart, I should say. The new injury chart that we're using. Rolling 1d20. We're going to check it against the pitcher injury chance. And that's an 8. 8 says he misses 2 games. So he will have to come out of this game. He will have to come out of this game, I do believe. Or you know what? I kind of like what Earl did. I think he did a 1-10. He comes out. And 11-20, he can stay in the game. I don't remember exactly how he worked that. But I need to pick a way and stick to it for the rest of the season. So I got to decide how I want to handle this, because now both teams are going to be going to their bullpen quite a bit. Let's see how they want to deal with this. How do we want to handle this? I did want injuries, and here I'm getting them. So I'm going to say he's got to come out. He was trying to field that ball, and he hurt himself and caused himself to make an error. So he's going to come out of the ball game. He's going to go 3+. He will not get the easy win that he thought he was going to get, that's for sure. All the bullpen guys for the Red Sox, seems like every one of them, except for Craig Breslow, who was a part-time starter. So Breslow will come in because of the fact that he has a relief rating of 3. So they're going to use Breslow and see if he can give him some length. And Breslow has a chance to be the winning pitcher if he can go a couple innings and be effective. Whoops, let's put the whole team out there again. Wilmer Flores will step up to the plate. Kadir at first, not being held, obviously, in a 10-1 game. 3-2. 3-2 for Wilmer Flores is a hit by pitch. So Breslow comes in and hits Flores, and Terry Collins certainly not happy about that. Also need to look at Breslow and check his injury rating. So in case we get a roll for him, Breslow's a 1, so he's also a 6-12. So roll a 6-12. That's the injury check for Breslow. Right now, the first two are on. Nobody out for John Mayberry. 2-10 for Mayberry, and that's another walk. Boy, this is just getting very, very ugly on both sides. Sloppy, to say the least. Bases are loaded. Maybe the Mets aren't out of the game yet. Bases are loaded with nobody out for Plawecki. Infield is back. 6-2, that's an in-home run chance, 1-5. He does have normal power. So 1-5, and we got a grand slam of our own for Plawecki. It's a 10. It is going to be a sacrifice fly to left. So Plawecki does get the RBI, bringing in Kadire, cuts the lead to 10-2. Now there's one away for Juan Lagares. 1-9, struck him out. 2 down. So that grand slam would have really been big. Would have got him right back in the game. Here's Granderson. 3-7, and that's a 1-3 single. Anything else, he lines to Pedroia to end the inning. And he does. Line to Pedroia to end the inning. Mets get one. They could have had a lot more. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. He couldn't get it done. Credit Craig Breslow for some great pitching. And Goodell back out to start the bottom of the fourth against Xander Bogaerts. But the fans here at Fenway are very, very happy with a 10-2 lead. And the Red Sox have their hitting shoes on. 2-7, struck him out. So as soon as I say that, Xander Bogaerts strikes out. Here's the Panda, Pablo Sandoval. 2-8 for Sandoval. He grounds to short. Wilmer Flores makes the play. 2 down. A 10-2 game. Maybe I got to try to be entertaining. I don't know. I'm not very entertaining, so just have to play it. 5-7, and that's danger for Goodell. 1-16 is a double. And that is going to be a 2-out double for Mike Napoli. He will not be held, of course, as a D runner, so he will not be held. Here's Hannigan. 6-4 for Goodell, and that's a strikeout. I forgot to check Goodell's injury rating, but I think he's probably coming out anyway right now, so he's going to end up going an inning and 2/3 and facing 6 batters. So we won't worry about that. We'll just check the injury rating for the next pitcher that comes in, whoever that may be. Right now, nothing for the Red Sox there. It's 10-2 as we go to the fifth. So much for those nifty 35-minute games like I had in some of the other ones when the top starters were going and they were mowing down the lineups. Breslow now back out to face Daniel Murphy. Get a 3-6 for Murphy, and that's a 1-3 double. Anything else will be a single. And Murphy with a leadoff single for the Mets. Of course, will not be held as an E stealer. There's David Wright. He's got a really good column 1 against lefties. His 3 columns not bad either. But we're off the pitcher. 4-9. But that's an in-home run chance right off the bat. In-home run. He's got normal power. It is gone. A 2-run homer for David Wright. 2-run shot, and it's 10-4. Good buddy. All of a sudden, we got a CB game going on. It's 10-4. 10-4, and here is Duda. 3-5. Struck him out. Out number 1. Brings up Kadire. Nets trying to chip away at this lead. 4-7. That's a fly to center. Put away by Mookie Betts. 2 down. Brings up Wilmer. 4-4. And it's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Bogaerts. Xander Bogaerts checks in at shortstop as a 2. 2 and a 3 as a shortstop. A 2 and a 3 is a ground ball C. Good enough. He makes the play to end the inning. But 2 runs come on to make it a 10-4 ball game. And we'll also get a new pitcher for the Mets. And let's see who that's going to be. The Red Sox have righties coming up, so it looks like another righty is going to be coming in. And that right-hander is going to be Logan Barrett. He's got long relief of a 3, so they will go with Logan Barrett. He has not pitched this season yet. And he didn't pitch any of the first 3 games. He's 1-2 with a 3.59 ERA. Does have a long relief rating, obviously. So Logan Barrett will be on. And they're going to be looking to him to at least go 2 innings. Don't know if they can get 3 out of him, but they'd love to. Here's Victorino to lead things off in this 10-4 game here in the bottom of the 5th. Already up to 40 minutes. Of course, I did some of the prelims too, so that took time. 2-11. 2-11 is a foul out to Plawecki. 1 down, and I forgot to do Logan Barrett's injury chance. So let's look at his roster sheet for him. Logan Barrett over here. I don't even see him on the roster sheet. Why is he not? He's an extra, I guess. Where's the extra players? I don't see the one for the extra players. Unless he went to a different, was he on a different team? No, doesn't show he's on a different team. So Logan Barrett. I don't know what he's got on here. Oh, wait a minute. Pitcher's over here, my bad. There he is, Logan Barrett right here. He's a 2. Logan Barrett's a 2, which means it's a 6-11 for his chance of injury. So we'll make sure there's no 6 or 11 on there. So Victorino will lead things off against Logan Barrett, or did I just do that? I thought I just did a play for... I was so worried about the error, I forgot anything else. Oh, I wrote it up here. He fouled to the catcher. And I wrote it under Mayberry. My bad. That can happen in a 10-4 game. It was actually Victorino who fouled out. So 1 away. And here's Mookie Betts. 1-7. That's a strikeout. So Barrett gets the K on Mookie Betts. 2 down. I might need a 6 column over here the way the... because they may get 6 at bats. Here's Pedroia. 4-9. And that's an in-home run chance 1-4. 5-20 is a double. It's a double for Pedroia. He's singled, homered, and now he's doubled. He's a triple away from the cycle. But I don't know if Pedroia can get a triple. He would have to roll a 3-5 with a 1 to get a triple, it would look like. So very unlikely that he's going to hit for the cycle, but still a nice day for Pedroia nonetheless. Here's Hanley Ramirez against Logan Barrett. 6-6, and that's a fly to center, 2 down. It's a B, but the runner is not, the fly ball did not go to right, so he can't move up. Here's Ortiz. First base is open, but you're already down 10-4. I don't think you worry about walking, guys. 2-6, but they probably should have. That's a home run for Big Papi. A 2-run blast for Big Papi. It is now a 12-4 game as the Red Sox get those 2 runs right back. And that brings up Bogarts. 3-2 for Bogarts is a fly to right to end the inning. So how about all of that? And now Breslow is going to come back out, try to go 1 more inning, see if he can qualify for a win by pitching 3 innings of relief. Here's Mayberry. 2-6 for Mayberry, pops it up to short. 1 away, brings up the catcher Plawecki. 3-5, and that is a 1-8. I'm sorry, looking 2-5. 3-5 is a ground ball to second. Pedroia right there. 2 down for Juan Lagares. 5-7, and that's a strikeout. He's not tired yet, so the strikeout is good. And that's going to end the inning. And that's going to do it for Breslow. He's going to go 3 innings. Let's see, Rodriguez actually pitched to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 batters, which means 13 for Breslow. So Breslow's day is done. He is going to be the winner unless something miraculous happens. Logan Barrett is back out for the Mets, and he'll be facing Sandoval, Napoli, and Hannigan for the Red Sox. And right now the Red Sox just trying to avoid injury rolls. 4-4, switch hitter batting left. 4-4 is a fly to ball center field X. That is Lagares. He is a really good center fielder. And Lagares checks in as a 2. 220, good play. One down. And that brings up Napoli, first baseman. 6-5, struck him out, 2 down. So 2 down, and that brings up Hannigan. 5-8, and that's a ground ball to third to end the inning. I think that's going to do it for Logan Barrett. His day is done. Let's see, how many did he go? Let's see here. I think he started here. I didn't mark it down like I should have, so I think he faced 9 batters. And in doing so, pitched 2 innings, 2 innings and 9 batters, I believe, is what he went. If I'm not mistaken, 2 innings and 9 batters for Logan Barrett. So we'll get a new pitcher for the Mets. And a new pitcher for the Red Sox will be coming in as well. Start at the top of the 7th. Top of the order, lefties are coming up, but you don't really want, you already used Breslow, one of your lefties. You want to save Robbie Ross so he's fresh for the next game. So they will go to another pitcher out of the bullpen, Alexi Ogando. 3-1 with a 3.99 ERA. So Alexi Ogando, he's only a 1 for his relief pitching, but they may just use 3 guys here to go 1 inning each. Or they might ask Ogando to stretch it and go 2, possibly. Ogando, for his injury check for a pitcher, Ogando is a 1, which means 6-12 again. That's the roll to avoid, 6-12. So, Granderson leads it off here in the top of the 7th. 12-4 ball game. 5-5 for a lefty is a fly to left. 1 away. So nothing clean about this game. I liked how the New York-Seattle game, the last video, or one of the last videos I did, was a very clean game. This one, not so much. And the Cleveland-San Francisco game was pretty clean as well, but this one, not so much. 3-4 for Murphy. That's a 1-16 home run. 17-20 is a double. That's a home run for Daniel Murphy. So Murphy, a solo shot, cuts the lead to 12-5. As Ogando gets one where he didn't want it, and Wright didn't miss it. Or rather, Murphy didn't miss it. Here's Wright, 4-8. He might not miss it either. No, he did miss it. Struck him out. 4-9 would have been a home run chance, but that's a strikeout. 2 down for Lucas Duda. 5-3 is a ground ball pitcher. Ogando is a 4. 4-10 goes to his error check. He's an E44. Well, that's not good. E44 for a pitcher, and that's a 12. He might actually get away with that. E44 and a 12 for a pitcher is it's an E1, so everything's an error when you're over 38. Everything's an error. A 2 would be the only chance you would have had. It is an E1 on Ogando, and if I remember correctly, that's the second error on the Red Sox. Both by the pitchers. One by Rodriguez when he got hurt, and then this one. So 2 errors, both by the pitchers of the Red Sox. Mets don't have any errors, but Red Sox hasn't needed those errors to score all those runs. Here's Goodell. 2-7 for Goodell, struck him out, and the inning's over. So they get a run to cut the lead to 12-5, but that's all they're going to get. And we'll see. Goodell might come back. We'll see. Right now, we need a new pitcher for the Mets. And it will be, who do they want to go to here? They want to go, let's see who's coming up for the Red. Not really matters. Hansel Robles will get the call. Hansel Robles, 4-3, 3.67 ERA. Hansel Robles. They just want to get 1 inning out of him, and then maybe 1 inning out of somebody else to finish it out. And Shane Victorino will lead things off. But with the score being what it is, the Red Sox might start emptying their bench a little bit. So we're going to have Daniel Nava is going to come in and pinch hit for Victorino and stay in the game to play right field. Jackie Bradley will pinch hit for Betts and stay in to play center field. So we're going to have Nava and Bradley coming up. So Bradley will pinch hit, stay in the game in center. Nava will pinch hit, stay in the game in right. and then we'll see what happens from there. Nava, 1-8, struck him out. Boy, 1-9 would have been an injury check, but 1-8 is just a strikeout. 1 away. Oh, speaking of injury, Robles, forgot to check him. Robles on the chart is a 1, which means he's a 6-12. I got to it's going to take me a while to get used to doing that, so bear with me on that. All right, so Mookie Betts is leaving as he is being pinch hit for. And Jackie Bradley, the batter. 3-9 for Bradley. He strikes out, so both pinch hitters strike out. Here's Pedroia. I would pinch hit for him, but he's got a minuscule chance of getting the cycle, so I don't want to take that away from him. I'm going to give him a chance. 3-4. Oh boy, 3-5. He would have had a chance at the cycle. As it is, 3-4. 1-10 is a home run. 11-20 is a double. 18 is a double. Another double for Pedroia. He is 4 for 4. 2 doubles, a home run, single, and a walk. Scored 3 runs and driven in several. Grand Slam being one of them. So I believe that's the 4 RBIs he has. So here is Hanley Ramirez. Now, do we pinch hit for Hanley Ramirez and get a better defender out there? That's a possibility, but I think we've already used all our defenders in the outfield, so could use Brock Holt out there, I guess. So they're going to bring in Brock Holt to bat for Ramirez, and he can play left field. So Holt now coming on to pinch hit, and he will stay in the game to play left field because he is rated as a left fielder, a 3+1 and a 3 error rating. So Holt, 5'8", it's ground ball second base X. That's Murphy. He's a 4. 4 and an 8. See what brings that on a second baseman. A 4 and an 8 goes to his error rating. Murphy as an error check for Murphy. He is an E15. 15 and a 6 as a second baseman. E15 and a 6 is a ground ball A, so he's able to survive that to end the inning. So Robles goes 1 inning, bases 4 batters, doesn't give up anything. Now Agondo will stay in and try to pitch 2 innings in this thing. Wilmer Flores will lead off for the Mets, followed by Mayberry and Plawecki. 4-7 for Agondo. 1-10 is a single. And it's a single, so he just did sneak it past Pablo Sandoval at third base. Leadoff single, here's John Mayberry. 3-7, ground ball second base C. That'll move the runner, with that being a C there. Moves the runner, here's Plawecki. 2-9 for Plawecki. That's a fly to left, out number 2. And that brings up Lagares. 5-7, and that's a 1-3 for a triple. Anything else, it's a fly to center. And that's a fly to center, hauled in out there by the new center fielder, Jackie Bradley. And that's going to do it for Agondo. He goes 2 innings. Gives up, let's see, how many batters? He faced 9 batters. So Agondo's day is done. They'll bring in somebody to clean up the 9th of this blowout game, 12-5. And now for the Mets, they will bring in a new pitcher. And it'll be left-hander Alex Torres. He will come on to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th and just try to get through without getting hurt. Lefty reliever. Now the Red Sox, scheduled to have Ortiz, Bogarts, and Sandoval. And let's see how they want to play this. Well, they don't really have a first. Well, Ortiz is a DH, so you can bring in anybody you want to pinch hit, can't you? The only guy they got left on the bench, though, is Leone. Sandy Leone. So they're going to leave Ortiz in there, lefty on lefty. They don't think he's going to get hurt. In fact, on his left-handed versus left, he'd have to roll a 212 to get hurt. So they're hoping he doesn't roll a 212. 5-10. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Flores and Wilmer Flores. And I got to do the injury check on Torres as well. Flores is a 4 at shortstop. 4 and a 1. That's a base hit for Ortiz. And let's check the air of the injury on Torres, I should say. When a game gets out of hand like this, it can get rather interesting. Alex Torres on here is showing as a 1, so that's a 612 as well. Got to avoid those. So Ortiz is at first base. They don't have anybody to run for him because the only guy on the bench is Sandy Leon, the backup catcher. You don't want to use him. So Bogarts is the batter against Torres. That's a 1-5, and that's trouble. 1's a triple. Anything else is going to be a double. That is a double, and Ortiz will stop at third base. So runners are at second and third with nobody out for Pablo Sandoval. They'll bring the infield in. What the heck? Doesn't matter. 2-7. Well, it did matter. Ground ball shortstop A+. That's going to bring in a 2-run single. Sandoval with that plus there. So they're trying to choke the runs off, but maybe they should have just licked their wounds and played it the way it was. It's now 14-5. Favor the Red Sox. Sandoval will not be held, of course. Here's Napoli. And now Torres is fatigued. Do you keep him in there? I guess he might be the sacrificial lamb. 6-2, that's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2 and an E0. 2 and a 13 goes to his error chart, and he's an E0, which automatically turns into a ground ball C. No, I'm sorry, ground ball A. So ground ball A is a double play. It'll go 1-4-3 double play to end the inning, mercifully. I think it's safe to put the X there. I think we're not going to need the bottom of the 9th. So how about that? It is 14-5. And we go to the top of the 9th. Torres pitches 1 inning facing 5 batters. So the Mets used a lot of their guys in the bullpen, but not their good guys. They saved Familia, obviously, with their best. So he'll be well rested for game 2 and 3. Now for the Red Sox, they need to bring in a pitcher to clean things up. And who do you bring in? This is what you tell this is how you tell your guys, we don't really trust you, but in a 14-5 game, we will trust you. And that's Junichi Tazawa. So they're going to bring in Tazawa. He will be on, and we'll check Tazawa's injury chance. For Boston, Tazawa is a 1. So again, it is a 6-12 situation. So Tazawa is on. The guy who really could use some work is Uehara, but I'd be scared he'd get an injury because he's got a high injury number. So kind of want to limit his exposure. Here's when you don't need him, especially. So here's Granderson facing Tazawa. 5-11, and that's an in-home run chance. He does have normal power, 1-11, and Granderson goes deep. And he does. Granderson, leadoff home run here in the 9th. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Does make it more of a football score, 14-6. But we'll see. Here's Murphy. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Pedroia is the second baseman, and he checks in as a 2. 2 and a 6 is a good play. That's 1 away. At least I think it is. Let me double check. I don't want to presume anything. Yep, 2-6 is a good play. So Murphy is out of there, and here is David Wright. .410, and that's a fly to left, out number 2. Down to the last out, Lucas Duda. 1-7, and he grounds to short to end the ball game. Mets get a run in the 9th, but it's irrelevant. or somewhat irrelevant. It's 14-6 the final. Tazawa goes 1 inning facing 4 batters. The winner is actually Breslow in relief. He is now 1-0. Loser is Jonathan Neese. He is 0-1. So we'll check the gory details for hits and stuff like that, and then wrap this thing up, as we are over an hour now. I don't want to belabor it too long, but I do want to get the totals, if possible, just to finalize things. For the Mets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. So 6 runs on 8 hits and no errors for the Mets. For the Red Sox, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I got them for 14 runs and 14 hits. I also had the Mets for, let's see how many walks they committed or issued. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got them issuing 7 walks, so not very good with the control either. So the Mets drop to the Red Sox this opener. The Red Sox win their home opener at Fenway Park. They improved to 3-1. Mets dropped to 2-2. Winning pitcher was Craig Breslow. Rodriguez will be injured for, I believe it said 2 games is what I rolled on that. So that's basically not even going to be a start because he's a starter. So he'll just come back because he won't pitch again for 5 days. So really there's no injury per se to him. He just had to lead the game. So he couldn't get the win. Breslow got the win with 3 innings of relief. So obviously he will need to sit out. And they're going to most likely want to sit Agondo tomorrow as well to give both these guys some rest. But they got other guys in the bullpen they didn't use. So when you got 7 relievers, they only used 3. You got 4 in the bullpen with well rested. The Mets still have 2 more in their bullpen well rested, 1 plus the Familia. So there it is. As gory as the details can get, as messy as the score sheet can get. When you get to these 4th and 5th starters, these are the kind of games you're going to have. 14-6 the final. Red Sox beat the Mets here in game number 16 out of 270, and the first matchup and the first game in series number 2. And as we look ahead to the remainder of series 2, we're still in interleague play for the first 2 series. Matchup 2 will be Phillies playing Seattle, so Philadelphia on the road again. In fact, they're on the road for the first 3 series, just the way it worked out. They'll get home games later. Seattle is at home for the first 2 series, so I probably should have flip-flopped those, but I didn't. So Philadelphia is going to be at Seattle. Cincinnati will be at Houston. Tampa Bay will be at San Francisco. And Arizona will be at Cleveland. So Cleveland will get 2 straight home series before they go on the road. So all those interleague plays, and then when we get to Series 3, you got a couple of you got 1 National League versus National League, 1 American League versus American League, and then 3 interleague. So it'll all work out in the end, hopefully. But matchup 1 in Series 2, the Mets and Boston. First game, not as close as I would like. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. If I'm going to do game 1 of these or possibly game 2 and 3 of these. I don't know exactly how many videos I'm going to do on this because I don't know, I don't want to oversaturate this. But that's going to do it from here for game number 16 in the season out of 270. This is game 16 or in the books. 254 to go. Red Sox put it away early and often. 4 in the first, 6 in the third, capped off by the grand salami by Pedroia. Kind of took care of things. Pedroia, the player of the game. 4 for 4, a walk, 2 doubles, single and a home run, and 4 runs batted in with 3 runs scored. So he obviously was the player of the game. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. I'll see you all down the road.